Most of the people in our coaching program do get stuck in the coding rounds, in the tech rounds, especially also because of that. Hi and welcome back to our channel. My name is Jorg, which is German for George here. I'd find a job in Germany, in Berlin. And with me today is my colleague and partner.
Tammo, hi Jorg.
How's it going, Tammo?
Very good.
Today, people, we're going to share some tips and tricks based on our experience of having accompanied hundreds of people coming from abroad to find a job in Germany, in tech and IT. And here are I think we have 5 or 6 pro tips for you to follow, implement, and take to heart. First of all, Tammo.
How can you ace your job interview, your tech job interview?
That is the key question. What is the most important thing, really, in the beginning?
As always, do your research. Understand what are the specific requirements for that specific job at that specific company.
What's the company doing? How are they making money? And why have they chosen the product family and the tech stack the way they have? Try to understand that already. You can try that in a get-to-know call maybe, but you can really find a lot of information online.
Like tech blogs, some company have a complete description about what they're doing, look about their GitHub profiles, and so on and so forth.
German companies love open source, so you're going to be confronted with a lot of open source technologies as well. Be prepared for that, and just don't go into an interview like that without having done your research. What would be the second piece of advice here?
You need to have good communication skills, especially with ChatGPT coming up. We see there is a trend that companies go back to interviews, not take home assignments anymore. So they want to see you, they want to see you how you speak, they want to ask you questions without using ChatGPT.
Super important. And you want to watch JD's success story, QA engineer from Canada who found a job in Germany, and he explicitly talks about that scenario that he hardly had a lot of, let's say, take-home assignments or coding challenges, as they call them, which they want you to do from home and then hand in. That part of the tech recruiting process is slowly but surely, and I don't want to, make any proper prognosis here. I don't want to say that it's always going to be like this now. It's slowly but surely being switched over to more conversational interviews because they think somebody will help you with it, if not ChatGPT.
Exactly. Third part, and I hear that from each and every coachee we had, you need to be good in your fundamentals. So if you are working in data analysis and data science, you need to have a good understanding of statistical analysis, about the groundworks, which you learned at university. So we see, again, German companies like to ask you those basic questions.
Softball questions to warm up with in the tech round. So when have you done? What's the
SQL? Are you good in Python?
What's the concept of an ETL pipeline and why? What are the fundamentals behind it? And
so before you start going into all those fancy tools, frameworks, and things that are not out there right now in your field, make sure you are strong in your fundamentals.
Exactly, and then they're going to raise the bar, and the bar raiser will be done in that most likely first tech conversation, tech interview that you have. As we always keep saying, generally that's the second or the third round.
Exactly. The next point is you need to be ready to apply those theoretical knowledge you have to a practical case. That means you need to be able to understand what are the pros and the cons of that specific solution you're presenting or you're talking about. So companies want to see that it's not only that you don't understand what you're doing, that you also understanding why you do something and why you do that in that specific use case.
Exactly. It does not matter as much what the end result is that you're presenting. It's really the path that you took and being able to explain that path. And then really also talking about the path, and especially when we're talking about code, this now goes out to all the software developers here. Clean code is an absolute must-have. And I can honestly say from our experience, most of the people in our coaching program do get stuck in the coding rounds, in the tech rounds, especially also because of that. Either your code is just messy or it's spaghetti code, which is just far too long. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's just too much. It's too fluffy. It's it's not as concise and compact as it should be.
Exactly. Last but not least, a general advice, not only for tech interviews, open up. With German companies, it is pretty normal to have an open discussion with the interviewer. So if you can create a situation where it leads more to a discussion you're having about a certain project, and it goes back and forth, you're changing arguments, you're helping each other, you get the feeling you're talking more to a colleague than to an interviewer, then you almost got the offer
And
already.
that's exactly, that relates back to what we already mentioned as one of the key pieces of advice, namely that the bar raiser will always be them checking you out for what it will be like to have you on the team. And here, things are rather equal from a hierarchy perspective, so try to keep that in mind. If you're interested in our support in that endeavor, you know what to do. Watch the video training, for which you find the link underneath this video, and then book your get-to-know call with us, where we get to meet you in person and then lay out a roadmap in a second call, which is our strategy call, to see if and how we can help you find a job in Germany. Tammo, thank you so much. Any last words?
No, and then of course, if we work with you, you get a detailed information and detailed training from
Mock
us.
interview practice. So
how
that's
to
what
do
we
those
do on a
rounds.
daily basis. Our employees here at the office, they're doing that right now. Thank you so much for following. Thank you, Tammo. All the best. Keep watching. Bye-bye.
Tschüss, bye bye.